How about we put some nifty little icons on those buttons? Anybody ever used Font Awesome? Nobody? Oh boy, you guys are, this is your lucky day. We're going to use Font Awesome. Yeah, yeah. It is included in Bootstrap. Yep. It's included in several frameworks. Yep. FontAwesome.com. Icons. Easy. Done. Whatever. They're tweaking all their marketing and everything lately. There's a brand new version. So the origins of Font Awesome were as a font. It is now more than just a font. But the idea was, well, you know the difference between vector images and raster images, or vector and bitmap? Anybody know what I'm talking about? What am I talking about, Madeline?
So I know for sure, like with vector, you can zoom in as much as you want, and it'll never get pixelated, so you make it as large or as small as you need to.
Right. So vector images are resolution independent. They look just as smooth no matter how much you zoom in or out, because they're defined with math, not pixels. So bitmap or raster images are defined with pixels. This pixel goes here and is this color, etc. With vector, it's basically saying draw a line from this point to this point, make this curve just so, etc. So they look good no matter what size they are. SVGs are vector images, and fonts, except for bitmap fonts, which are the exception, are vector images. They're defined by math. So no matter how big you make your text, it still looks smooth, right? It doesn't suddenly turn super, super jagged, unless it was designed that way. So the idea was, once web fonts became a reality and became widely supported, they made this font that used some of the extra characters in Unicode that are not used for anything. They're not used for any foreign characters or anything. Just put some icons in there and then make this little framework so that people can include that font and just include those icons on their page. And everyone was happy and it was great. There are a few accessibility issues with that approach, and fonts are maybe not the best way to do that. So the new version of Font Awesome can use SVGs instead of a font, but the framework is still just as easy to use. So let's give it a shot. Click Get Started. Getting started with Font Awesome. In my opinion, they have actually made this a little too complicated on this page, because Font Awesome Pro is pretty new, and I understand why they want to push it. But don't miss that there is the free version right there. And we'll go ahead and use the SVG version, since it's a little better, a little more accessible than the actual font. The way we use it isn't going to be any different, but we'll do that. So click on SVG with JS. Who knows what a CDN is? It stands for Content Delivery Network. So sometimes when you use a third-party library, instead of downloading it in your project, you link to a hosted version. That's a CDN. They're high-speed, highly available, probably more reliable than your own server infrastructure. And the nice thing is, if lots of people are using the same library from the same CDN, if you visit a new site that gets it from the same source, it's not going to download it again. It's going to use the copy your browser has already cached. So for things like jQuery that are super widely used and kind of big, if everyone's using the same CDN for jQuery, then people on their phone in the middle of nowhere don't have to download this whole huge library every time. They just use the cached version from the same CDN. So we'll do this. Again, we want the free version. So go to Get Started, SVG with JS, free version, and it gives us a script tag here. Rather than trying to grab all that with my cursor, I will hit the little clipboard button here. I'll copy that. And we'll paste this in. It says paste it into the head, so that should probably be okay. So in index.html, I'll still put it above my style sheet. I'll go ahead and put that script tag. It's a really long one for Font Awesome. Then we need to know how to use it. So start placing your icons in your HTML's body. We recommend using a consistent HTML element like I. So I, semantically meaningless. It was one of the proprietary tags added in the mid-90s for italics. But italics really means emphasis, so we use the EM tag for that now. So I is a standard element that's always there, but it doesn't really mean anything. So it's a perfectly good choice for icons. So we'll use it. So let's find the right icon for the job. How about a trash can? Trash. Let's make sure we're filtering by free. There we go. I like this one. Trash alt. Let's click it, and let's see how to use it. Still got like a few different options. I like this one. So it says to put an I element with a class of FAR. That's font awesome regular. Font awesome solid would be FAS. FAR, font awesome regular. And then FA trash alt. So you put two classes on there. One that just tells it use font awesome basically. And another class that tells it which icon. So let's copy this. And let's find our template delete button here. And instead of the word DEL, I'll paste that in. What else is it telling us? Cool. Now, what if that's not there? What if we're using a screen reader? We should just be able to put a title attribute on here. Title, delete or remove, whatever you want this to say. And that should take care of it. Let's see what happens. Blah, blah, blah. Trash can. Woo! There it is. Let's inspect this, see what we got. And you notice it actually replaced that whole thing with an SVG. The SVG has has a title of remove. It uses, yeah. So it's going to be accessible too. So there's a little trash can. Now that's teeny tiny. We'll probably fiddle with this, make it a little more visible. But hey, it's a start. So how about for the fave, we find a star. I bet there's something like that. Star. Heck, you can make it outlined or not, whichever way you like. What do we like? Solid, regular. What do you like? You like solid? Let's try that. Let's put a title on that. Favorite. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Deleted. Font awesome. Use font awesome icons in the buttons. Very easy to use, included in a lot of frameworks. There's tons and tons of things in there. And they're pretty nice looking, and they're pretty fast and efficient, especially in the new version. There's 1,100 just free ones. So yeah, Font Awesome is your friend.